Commander Sarah Chen pressed her palm against the cold viewport of the orbital station, watching Earth rotate slowly beneath her. The blue marble that had once been humanity's entire universe now seemed impossibly small from her position among the stars. 3 years had passed since the Galactic Council had graciously accepted humanity into their vast confederation of species, and every day felt like a reminder of how far they had all traveled from home. The communication console behind her chimed softly, displaying an incoming message from the surface. Sarah's heart quickened when she saw the sender's name, Dr. Marcus Webb, her former research partner and closest friend from their days at the Mars Colony Engineering Institute. They had dreamed together of humanity reaching the stars, but when the aliens arrived with their advanced technology and bureaucratic demands, everything had changed. Marcus had chosen to stay on Earth, working with the integration committees and alien technology specialists. Sarah had volunteered for the deep space assignments, eager to prove that humans could contribute something meaningful to the galaxy's established order. Now, as she read his brief message asking about her well-being, she realized how the vastness of space had created more than just physical distance between them. Commander Chen to the briefing room announced the station's AI system, interrupting her thoughts. Sarah sighed, knowing that another assignment awaited her. The Galactic Council had been generous with their missions for human crews, though she had begun to notice a pattern in the tasks they received. The briefing room buzzed with quiet conversation as Sarah entered. Captain Rodriguez, the station commander, stood at the front beside a holographic display showing a massive debris field floating in the void between star systems. The image was both beautiful and haunting, with twisted metal fragments catching starlight like scattered diamonds. "Ladies and gentlemen," Captain Rodriguez began, his voice carrying the weight of familiarity with disappointing news. "The Council has another salvage operation for us. This debris field contains the remains of several decommissioned warships from various species. Our job is to collect anything useful and transport it to the designated recycling facilities." Lieutenant Torres, one of the younger officers, raised her hand. "Sir, with respect, this is the 4th salvage mission this month. Are we becoming the galaxy's cleanup crew?" The captain's expression tightened slightly. "The Council values our practical approach to resource management. They believe humans have a unique talent for making use of discarded materials." His tone suggested he understood the implication as clearly as everyone else in the room. Sarah studied the debris field more carefully, her engineering mind automatically cataloguing the various hull fragments and component pieces floating in the display. While the other species in the galaxy had advanced far beyond the need to recycle old military hardware, humans had arrived at the cosmic table with nothing but determination and ingenuity. The Council seemed content to let them handle the universe's unwanted scraps. "Commander Chen," Captain Rodriguez continued, "you'll be leading the engineering assessment team. I want a full analysis of everything we collect. The Council expects our usual efficiency." As the briefing concluded and the other officers filed out, Sarah remained behind, staring at the holographic debris field. Something about the scattered remains stirred a familiar feeling in her chest. It reminded her of the early days on Mars, when she and Marcus had built their first successful atmospheric processor from salvaged mining equipment that everyone else had written off as junk. She pulled out her personal communicator and began composing a message to Marcus. For the first time in months, she felt a spark of excitement about a mission. Perhaps being the galaxy's scrap collectors wasn't the insult the Council intended it to be. Perhaps it was exactly the opportunity humanity needed to show the universe what they could accomplish when everyone else had given up hope. Commander Sarah Chen sat in her small quarters aboard the orbital station, staring at the message she had just sent to Marcus. The words felt both comforting and heavy, like a lifeline thrown into a vast ocean. She wanted to reconnect with him, to share her thoughts and feelings, but the distance between them seemed overwhelming. The silence that followed her message was deafening. Days turned into weeks, and Sarah threw herself into her work. The crew had started the salvage operation, combing through the debris field with a sense of urgency. They were collecting broken ships, twisted metal, and forgotten technology, all left behind by alien species that had long since moved on. The task felt meaningful, and Sarah found joy in leading her team as they transformed discarded scraps into useful parts for their own fleet yet. Each time she found something innovative, a component that could be repurposed or a design that sparked new ideas, she longed to share it with Marcus. He would have loved this. Sarah remembered the late nights they had spent in the lab at Mars, dreaming of the technology they would create together. They had shared laughter and ideas, both excited about the future and the role they would play in it. One evening, after a long day of salvaging, Sarah sat down at her console and looked out at the stars. The vastness of space was beautiful, but it also reminded her of the loneliness she felt without Marcus. She missed their conversations, their debates about engineering principles, and even their silly arguments about which science fiction movies were the best. She wanted to reach out, but fear held her back. What if he had moved on? What if he no longer wanted to hear from her? With a deep breath, Sarah decided to take a different approach. Instead of waiting for a reply, she would show Marcus what she was doing. Using the station's resources, she began to document their salvage operations. She took photos of the most interesting finds, wrote down her thoughts on how they could be repurposed, and even recorded videos explaining the engineering concepts behind them. She was determined to give Marcus a glimpse into her world, to let him know that she was still here, still fighting for humanity's place in the galaxy. After a few weeks of hard work, Sarah compiled everything into a digital presentation. She named it Building the Future from Scrap. It was a tribute to their shared dreams and a way to reconnect. With a hopeful heart, she sent it to Marcus, attaching a personal note that read, "I miss you. I hope this shows you how much we've grown. Let's build something incredible together." Again, as the days passed, Sarah felt a renewed sense of purpose. The project had reignited her passion for engineering and reminded her of her connection to Marcus. She focused on her work, leading her team to discover new ways to utilize the remnants they had collected. Each breakthrough felt like a step toward not just improving their technology, but also re-establishing her bond with her friend. Then, one quiet afternoon, while Sarah was reviewing schematics for a new ship design, a notification pinged on her console. It was a message from Marcus. Her heart raced as she opened it, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. "Sarah," the message began, "I just watched your presentation. It's incredible. I had no idea you were doing all of this. Your passion shines through every word. I've missed our talks, and I'm so proud of what you're accomplishing up there. Let's discuss some of your ideas. I think we could collaborate on something amazing." Tears of joy filled Sarah's eyes. She felt a wave of relief wash over her as she read his words. He hadn't forgotten her. He was still interested in their dreams. It was as if the distance between them began to shrink, replaced by a renewed hope for the future. With a smile, she quickly replied, suggesting a video call. They could share their ideas in real time, bridging the gap that had felt insurmountable. Sarah knew that while the universe was vast, the connections they forged could make it feel smaller, more intimate. They were not just engineers, they were dreamers, and together they would build a future that would inspire even the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy. Commander Sarah Chen sat at her console, heart racing as she prepared for her video call with Marcus. After weeks of feeling adrift in space, his message had brought her back to life. She adjusted the camera, making sure the lighting was just right, and took a deep breath to calm her nerves. This was their first real conversation in months, and she wanted it to be perfect. Finally, the screen flickered to life, and Marcus's familiar face appeared. His hair was a bit longer, and he wore glasses now, but his warm smile was exactly as she remembered. "Sarah," he exclaimed, leaning closer to the camera. "It's so good to see you." "It's great to see you too, Marcus," Sarah replied, unable to hide her excitement. The distance between them faded as they began to talk, sharing stories about their lives. Marcus told her about his work on Earth, how he was helping to integrate alien technology into human designs. Sarah shared her experiences on the orbital station, detailing the salvage operations and the new inventions they were creating from the debris as they spoke. Sarah felt the spark of their old friendship reignite. They laughed together, reminiscing about late nights spent brainstorming ideas and the silly arguments they had about which alien species was the most interesting. It felt so natural, as if no time had passed at all. "Your presentation was amazing," Marcus said, his eyes lighting up with enthusiasm. "I loved the part about the propulsion system you designed from the old ship parts. That could really change how we approach space travel." Sarah felt a rush of pride at his words. "Thank you. I couldn't have done it without our brainstorming sessions back on Mars. I always valued your input." As the conversation flowed, Sarah felt a sense of hope that she hadn't felt in a long time. It was clear that despite the distance, their bond was still strong. They were both working tirelessly to advance humanity's place in the galaxy, and they could lean on each other for support. "Have you thought about coming back for a visit?" Marcus asked, his tone turning serious. "I'd love to show you the new projects we're working on. We could collaborate in person." Sarah hesitated for a moment. The idea of returning to Earth brought a mix of excitement and fear. "I want to, but I've committed to my work here," she said slowly. "We're making real progress with the salvage operations, and I feel like I'm part of something bigger." "I understand," Marcus replied, his voice warm and supportive. "But remember, you don't have to do it all alone. We're all in this together. Humanity's strength lies in our ability to work as a team. You've built something incredible up there, and it's just as important as what we're doing down here." His words rang true, and Sarah felt inspired. She realized that their friendship, their shared dreams, were just as vital to humanity's advancement as the technology they were creating. They needed each other, and while distance might separate them physically, it didn't have to weaken their connection. "I'll think about it," Sarah said finally, smiling. "Maybe a visit would help us brainstorm even more ideas together. We could push the boundaries of what humans can do in this galaxy." Marcus's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Absolutely. Let's make it happen. And who knows, maybe we can even work on a project that could change the course of human history." As the conversation continued, they began discussing potential collaborations, ideas swirling between them like the stars outside Sarah's viewport. They talked about integrating alien technology with their own designs, imagining a future where humanity was not just surviving but thriving among the stars. The call eventually ended, but the warmth of their connection lingered. Sarah felt invigorated, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. She knew that together they could accomplish incredible things. They were not just two individuals separated by distance. They were representatives of humanity's potential dreamers, builders, and pioneers. As she sat back in her chair, Sarah gazed out at the stars, feeling a renewed sense of hope. The universe was vast, but with friends like Marcus by her side, she knew that humanity could reach greater heights than anyone had ever imagined. With determination in her heart, she began drafting plans for their next steps, confident that they would forge a brighter future together, no matter the distance. Commander Sarah Chen sat at her console, her fingers hovering over the keyboard as she prepared to send a follow-up message to Marcus. Their recent video call had filled her with hope and excitement, but she still felt a twinge of sadness about the distance between them. It was one thing to share ideas across a screen. It was another to feel the warmth of friendship in person. As she typed, she reflected on the importance of human connection, especially in a galaxy filled with unknowns. Their conversation had sparked so many ideas, and she wanted to keep that momentum going. She decided to propose a collaborative project that would bridge the gap between them, both physically and emotionally. "Hey, Marcus," she began, her fingers dancing over the keys. "I've been thinking about our last conversation. I believe we could create something amazing together that showcases humanity's ingenuity. What if we designed a new type of spacecraft, one that combines our ideas and the technology we've both been working with? I could gather the data and prototypes here, and you could work on the theoretical side back on Earth. We could meet halfway to bring our designs to life." Feeling inspired, Sarah hit send and leaned back in her chair. She felt a rush of excitement at the thought of collaborating with Marcus again. They had always been a great team, and now, in this vast galaxy, they could be a shining example of what humanity was capable of achieving. Days passed, and Sarah focused on her work. The salvage operations yielded more innovative parts each day, and she was determined to keep the momentum going. She felt a renewed sense of purpose, spurred on by the idea of working with Marcus. Each time she discovered a new piece of technology, she imagined how it could fit into their future project. One afternoon, as she was reviewing the latest findings with her engineering team, a notification popped up on her console. It was a message from Marcus. Her heart raced as she opened it. "Sarah," he wrote, "I love your idea. A joint project would be amazing. I've already started sketching some concepts based on our previous designs. We can use your salvage findings to create a prototype. Let's call it the Unity-class starship. It will symbolize our collaboration and humanity's spirit of innovation." Sarah's heart swelled with pride. The name was perfect. It captured the essence of their partnership and the hope they shared for humanity's future among the stars. She quickly replied, excited to dive into the details of their project. Over the following weeks, they exchanged messages and ideas, collaborating across the vast distance. Sarah sent detailed reports on their salvage findings and her team's progress, while Marcus shared his theoretical designs and calculations. With each message, their connection deepened, and Sarah found herself feeling less distant from him. To celebrate their growing partnership, Sarah organized a small event on the station. She invited her engineering team to present their recent innovations and share ideas for the Unity-class starship. The room buzzed with excitement as they discussed the potential of combining their findings with the theoretical designs Marcus had provided. As the team brainstormed, Sarah felt a sense of belonging and purpose. They were not just cleaning up debris, they were building a future. They were proving that humanity could stand alongside other species in the galaxy, not just as survivors, but as innovators and leaders. The excitement in the room reminded her of the late nights spent with Marcus, filled with laughter and dreams. After the meeting, Sarah took a moment to reflect on how far they had come. She realized that while physical distance could be challenging, it didn't have to undermine the strength of their connection. They were partners in every sense, united by shared goals and dreams. With the Unity-class Starship project underway, Sarah and Marcus scheduled another video call. This time, the anticipation felt different. They were no longer just two friends trying to reconnect. They were collaborators, working toward a common dream. When the call began, both of them were grinning from ear to ear. "I can't believe how much we've accomplished together," Marcus said, his voice brimming with enthusiasm. "This ship will change everything for humanity." "I know," Sarah replied, her heart soaring. "We're proving that distance doesn't mean we can't create something extraordinary. Together, we're building a bridge across the stars." As they continued to discuss their plans, Sarah felt a sense of hope and determination wash over her. The universe was vast, but with friends like Marcus by her side, she knew they could navigate its challenges and forge a brighter future for humanity. No matter how far apart they were, their shared dreams would always bring them closer. Together, Commander Sarah Chen stood in the engineering bay of the orbital station, surrounded by the hum of machinery and the chatter of her team. The Unity-class Starship project had progressed further than she had ever imagined, thanks to her collaboration. With Marcus, they had combined their ideas into a design that was both innovative and practical. The ship would not only serve as a vessel for exploration, but also as a symbol of humanity's resilience and creativity. As she looked around, Sarah felt a wave of pride. Her team had worked tirelessly, fueled by the hope of creating something that could change the future. They were using the salvaged materials they had collected to build the prototype, and every day brought new challenges that tested their ingenuity. This was more than just a ship. It was a testament to what humanity could achieve when they came together, despite their differences. But even amidst the excitement, Sarah still felt a twinge of sadness. While she was thrilled about the project, she missed the personal connection with Marcus. They had spent countless hours discussing ideas, and now, even though they were working toward a common goal, she longed for the deeper conversations that had once filled their friendship. The distance still weighed on her heart, and she wished she could share the day-to-day experiences with him, determined to bridge that gap. Sarah gathered her team for a meeting. "I have an idea," she began, her voice filled with enthusiasm. "What if we create a live feed that Marcus can tune into? It would allow him to see our progress in real time, and we could keep him updated on everything happening here. It's a way to keep him involved, even when he's far away." Her team erupted with excitement. "That's a great idea, Commander," Lieutenant Torres said, her eyes shining. "We can set up cameras around the bay and stream our work directly." To him, with renewed energy, Sarah and her team worked quickly to set up the necessary equipment. They installed cameras in strategic locations around the engineering bay, capturing every step of the construction process. Sarah felt a surge of hope as they prepared to connect Marcus to their work. This way, he wouldn't just be a distant voice, he would be part of the team in spirit. Once everything was ready, Sarah sent a message to Marcus, inviting him to join the live feed for the first official viewing of the Unity-class prototype. She felt nervous, but excited. This was more than just a project. It was a way to reconnect and remind Marcus that he was still an essential part of her life, no matter the distance. The day of the live feed arrived, and Sarah stood in front of the camera, her heart racing with anticipation. The engineering bay buzzed with energy as her team prepared for the big reveal. They had worked hard, and she wanted Marcus to see just how much they had accomplished together. With a deep breath, Sarah initiated the connection. The screen flickered, and soon Marcus's face appeared, beaming with pride. "Hey, Sarah, I can't believe this is happening," he exclaimed, his excitement palpable. "Welcome to the engineering bay," Sarah replied, beaming back at him. "We're ready to show you the Unity-class starship in all its glory. This is the culmination of our hard work and your amazing designs." As the feed continued, Sarah walked Marcus through the various sections of the prototype. She highlighted the innovative features they had integrated, explaining how they had utilized salvaged materials in creative ways. With each detail, she could see Marcus's enthusiasm grow. "This is incredible, Sarah," he said, his eyes wide with admiration. "You've taken our ideas and turned them into something amazing. I wish I could be there in person to help." "You are here with us," Sarah replied, her voice warm. "This ship is as much yours as it is ours. We are all part of this journey together." The conversation flowed, filled with laughter and shared excitement. Sarah felt the distance between them begin to dissolve. They were not just two friends separated by space. They were collaborators, united by a common goal and a deep friendship. After the live feed, Sarah received a message from Marcus. "Thank you for including me, Sarah. I felt like I was right there with you. This project is going to inspire so many people. I can't wait to see it take to the stars." As she read his words, Sarah felt tears of joy fill her eyes. They were truly building something special together, a ship that would not only carry humanity into new frontiers but also symbolize the strength of their bond. In that moment, Sarah realized that distance could never truly separate them. Their friendship was a bridge across the stars, connecting them in ways that transcended space and time. With renewed hope, she looked forward to the next phase of their journey, knowing that together they could achieve anything they set their minds to. Commander Sarah Chen stood on the observation deck of the orbital station, gazing out at the stars. The Unity-class starship project was nearing completion, and the excitement among her team was palpable. They had worked tirelessly, and soon they would be ready for the first test flight. In just a few days, they would launch the ship into the cosmos, marking a new chapter for humanity, however. Despite the thrill of the upcoming launch, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling of longing for her friend, Marcus. Their recent collaborations had brought them closer in some ways, but there was still a part of her that ached for the deep connection they had shared before he moved away. She missed their late-night brainstorming sessions and the way they could talk for hours about their dreams for humanity's future. With the test flight approaching, Sarah knew she needed to take action. She wanted to show Marcus that he was still a vital part of her life and that their friendship could withstand the distance between them. She decided to plan a special event for the launch, a virtual celebration that would include Marcus and highlight their journey together. Sarah gathered her engineering team and shared her idea. "What if we live stream the launch of the Unity-class starship and invite Marcus to join us? We can include him in the celebration and make it a moment for both of us," she proposed. The team loved the idea. "That's a fantastic way to involve him, Commander," Lieutenant Torres exclaimed. "We can set up a countdown and have everyone share their thoughts about the project. It'll be a great way to show Marcus how much he means to us." With the plan in motion, Sarah felt a renewed sense of hope. She started preparing for the launch event, coordinating with her team to ensure everything would go smoothly. They decorated the engineering bay, putting up banners and lights to create a festive atmosphere. As they worked, Sarah felt a sense of unity among her team, a reminder of how far they had come together. On the day of the launch, excitement filled the air. The engineering bay buzzed with energy as team members put the final touches on the Unity-class starship. Sarah couldn't help but smile as she looked around at her colleagues, each one contributing their skills and passion to this incredible project. As the time for the livestream approached, Sarah set up the connection for Marcus. She felt butterflies in her stomach, hoping he would appreciate the effort they had put into this event. She wanted him to feel included and celebrated, even from afar. Finally, the moment arrived. The countdown clock began ticking down, and Sarah's heart raced. She could see Marcus's face appear on the screen, his expression filled with excitement and pride. "I can't believe this is happening," he exclaimed. "Welcome to the launch of the Unity-class starship." Sarah replied, her voice filled with joy. "We're so glad you could join us for this special moment." As the countdown reached its final seconds, the entire team gathered around the screen. Sarah took a deep breath, feeling a mix of excitement and nostalgia. This launch was not just about the ship. It was about the journey they had all taken together, the friendships they had built, and the dreams they were chasing. 3, 2, 1, liftoff. Sarah shouted, and the room erupted in cheers as the ship launched into the sky. The feed showed the Unity-class starship soaring through the atmosphere, its engines glowing brightly against the night. It was a beautiful sight, a symbol of hope for humanity's future among the stars. As the cheers died down, Sarah turned to Marcus. "Thank you for being a part of this journey," she said sincerely. "This ship represents everything we dreamed of together." Marcus smiled, his eyes shining. "I feel so lucky to be part of this, even from a distance. You've built something amazing, Sarah. This ship will inspire generations." With the launch successful, Sarah could feel the distance between them shrinking. Their friendship, once strained by miles, was now stronger than ever. They continued to talk and celebrate, sharing their hopes and dreams for what lay ahead in that moment. Sarah realized that no matter how far apart they were, their bond would always remain. They had built a bridge of friendship that transcended distance, and together they could face whatever challenges the universe had in store. With renewed hope in her heart, Sarah looked forward to the future, knowing that they would continue to create and inspire, united by their passion for humanity's journey among the stars. The day after the successful launch of the Unity-class starship, Commander Sarah Chen stood in the engineering bay, still buzzing with excitement. The ship was now in orbit, ready for its first mission, a journey to explore a nearby star system. The team had worked so hard, and the celebration from the previous night still echoed in her mind. But even amidst the joy, Sarah felt a familiar ache in her heart. Despite the connection they had rekindled, she still missed the closeness she had with Marcus before he moved away. Sarah had spent the night thinking about how to better bridge the distance. She wanted to share the upcoming mission with Marcus and make him feel like he was part of it. After all, this was a significant step for humanity as they ventured into uncharted territory. She knew that Marcus would be thrilled to hear about it, but she also wanted to do something special to show him that their friendship truly mattered. As she moved through the engineering bay, Sarah was hit by a wave of inspiration. What if they could create a virtual mission briefing, one that included Marcus as a key participant? They could share the details of the mission, discuss their findings, and even allow him to present his ideas. It would be a way to showcase not only the Unity-class starship, but also the strength of their collaborative efforts. Despite being physically apart, excited by this idea, Sarah gathered her team. "I have a plan," she said, her eyes shining with enthusiasm. "Let's create a virtual mission briefing for our upcoming exploration. We'll invite Marcus to join us, and he can present his theories about the star system we're heading to. This way, he'll feel like he's right there with us." The team loved the idea. "That's a brilliant way to include him," Lieutenant Torres said, clapping her hands. "Let's get started on the presentation right away." For the next few days, the engineering team worked diligently to prepare for the briefing. They created slides to showcase the Unity-class starship's capabilities and the scientific goals for the mission. Sarah made sure to include sections that highlighted Marcus's contributions, emphasizing how their work together had shaped the ship's design. When the day of the mission briefing arrived, Sarah felt a mix of excitement and nerves. They had set up a large screen in the engineering bay where her team could gather to watch and participate. As everyone took their seats, Sarah initiated the connection with Marcus. "Welcome, everyone," she said, her voice ringing with enthusiasm. "Today, we're excited to present our mission to explore the nearby star system and share how much our collaboration with Marcus has contributed to this journey." The screen flickered, and Marcus's face appeared, smiling brightly. "I'm thrilled to be a part of this, Sarah. Thank you for including me," he said, his eyes shining with excitement. "I've been analyzing the star system you're heading to, and I believe there are some fascinating discoveries waiting for you." As the briefing unfolded, Sarah felt a sense of joy wash over her. Marcus's contributions were invaluable, and seeing him engaged in the discussion made her heart swell. They shared ideas, debated theories, and laughed together, just as they used to. The distance that had once felt so heavy began to dissolve, replaced by the warmth of their friendship. During the presentation, Sarah made sure to highlight the ship's advanced technology and the innovative materials they had salvaged. "This ship represents the best of humanity's ingenuity," she explained. "We have taken what was once discarded and transformed it into something powerful. Together, we are proving that we can thrive among the stars." As the briefing came to a close, Sarah felt proud of what they had accomplished together. "Thank you all for your hard work and creativity," she said to her team. "And thank you, Marcus, for being a part of this journey. We could not have done it without you." Marcus smiled warmly from the screen. "I'm honored to be part of this mission. I believe that together we can achieve great things for humanity. Distance may separate us physically, but our friendship and collaboration will always keep us connected." After the briefing, Sarah received messages from her team expressing their excitement about the upcoming mission. More importantly, she received a heartfelt message from Marcus. "Sarah," he wrote, "I feel like I'm right there with you. Thank you for making me feel included. Together, we are building a future that inspires hope for everyone." As she read his words, Sarah felt a deep sense of gratitude. Their friendship had survived the challenges of distance, and it had grown stronger through their shared dreams and aspirations. Looking out at the stars from the observation deck, Sarah felt a renewed sense of hope for what lay ahead. With Marcus by her side, even from afar, she knew that they could face any challenge. Together, they would explore the universe, pushing the boundaries of what humanity could achieve. and proving that love and friendship could bridge even the greatest of distances.